Hey everybody, welcome to the Outdoor Line podcast. I got back with me again today, Kiley Harpster. He was on for the very first episode, and we talked about hunting whitetails. Early season here in Missouri. We got a September 15th opener, so you can get after him pretty early here. And he talked about two different bucks that he was going to be going after. He had one in mind, and if things weren't going to work out with that one, he was going to switch to another deer. And sure enough, on the fourth day of season, September 18th,
That's right.
Kiley arrowed this dandy of an 8-pointer.
And, in hindsight, he should have been my number one, but he wasn't.
Just now that you got your hands on him, he's kind of
Yeah.
a little more
yeah,
impressive than you
right.
thought. But what was your number one? What was that deer you were after?
Well, I believe he has succumbed to EHD.
Really?
Yeah.
Because
when
we talked last, you hadn't had a picture of him for a little while, I think.
Yeah. That was probably right. I don't even remember the date on the last picture I had either. But no, he was a big 8 as well. Just a bit framier and taller. Not quite as heavy, but he was a heck of a nice deer.
And you hunted him the first day or two of the season?
First 2 days. Yeah, first 2 days.
And then you decided to switch.
Yeah, that third day, I got a picture of him on. Of course, this was a different property, and I got a picture of him going back to bed at like, I don't remember. It was like 7:30. It was 7:30 that morning. I went, well, I guess I have to switch to this deer.
Right.
I even told a few of my buddies that too. Like, yeah, you kind of have to do that. So that's what I did.
Kind of like last year. Like, you can't ask for it to be any better. Like, you got a picture of a deer in broad daylight in the morning, headed to his bed. Like, he's not going to bed too far from there.
Yeah, he's going to bed. Basically, if you're going to get pictures of that deer or a deer, really, a buck, a mature deer, at that time in the morning, he's not going to be far.
Very close.
He's not going to be far.
Yeah. Did you have that camera just on a trail or the pinch point or field corner or something?
Fence row. Got a fence row, so edge of the field. Yeah. I mean, and some trees.
Right.
some
along the bean field, right?
Both.
Gotcha. And so
corn and beans.
So you had pictures of him going to bed on the third day of season, which would be the 17th, right? Or was that the day you killed him? It's the day you had a picture.
Would have been the 17th.
And you went in that night.
Went in that evening, and to where I figured he was assumed bedding. So I went in there, and I hung up, and I actually saw him that night. He came out with a couple little bucks. And I was preparing myself that time. I was like, man, he just needs to walk right down this edge. No, he just tucked right back into the corner, and that was probably, he came out that night at about 6:30, 6:45, something like that.
Yeah. So plenty of light left.
Yeah.
At that
time. And he was only out there for about 10 minutes and ducked back in the timber, and I never saw him again that night.
And then, so, did you get pictures of him the next day?
No.
Next morning?
I didn't.
But
no,
you just went back, same game plan, though?
Had the same, I knew he was there.
There's no reason for him to change it up.
Yeah.
But
I think we established that a saddle hunt in the last episode.
Yeah.
And I just left my stuff there. Left the sticks on the tree, left my platform in the tree. It's like, well, I'd already looked at the weather. I was like, the wind's going to be pretty iffy, but worst case scenario, I have other setups in my truck. So that's what I did. I just left it all there. So the next day, I don't think I got his picture that night or morning or anything. So I went in there based on the wind where I thought he was going to be. I thought, well, he bedded north the night before. Surely he's going to be bedded north again. So I kind of took a little different approach going in there, and I'm wading through corn, walking into this place. It was horrible. Of course, it's 90
Yeah,
degrees.
it's hot. September
On the
18th.
Yeah, September 18th, and it's warm. And man, those corn leaves, they just cut the absolute dog piss out of your arms.
Yeah, they really do.
So I'm wearing long sleeves. I'm wearing a neck gaiter. I've got my stocking hat on because obviously my head is going to get cut to shit too. So I'm just sweating like a dog. I took a little different approach as far as getting into my stand, and in hindsight, I probably walked 60 yards from him, not knowing it.
You were in the corn though, and he was.
But the wind was in my favor,
Right.
so it helped. So I get in there, and I looked over. I was in the fence row, and I looked over from the ditch that I had walked by, and there he is. He's standing there, and he's just kind of looking off into outer space on the other side of the field, and he just makes a beeline across this field, across this bean field.
And I think you sent me a video of that.
To the north. I think I probably did.
I think you sent me a video of him like walking away from you, and it was early. I thought, wow, it's early.
Yeah. And he's just standing there in all his beefy glory, and just beeline straight to these north trees that he came out from the night before. I was like, oh, what? Why is he going into these north trees? Like, what is up there? Is it just an acorn patch? Is it maybe some internal scrapes in there? I don't know. I didn't go busting in there prior to season, so I didn't know. Anywho, so I'm sitting there, okay, let's fast forward back to me watching the weather. He disappears into that north thicket.
And you're watching the weather thing.
Yeah,
you're
I'm
gonna get wet.
and I'm watching it over to my west too. I'm like,
You're watching it in the sky.
I'm about to get hammered. So it was about 7:00. I said, okay, I'm gonna sit here till 7:15, and at 7:15 I'm gonna start packing my stuff up. So 7:15 hits.
Just because you didn't want to get wet.
Just
and
because yeah. Well,
I had to happen. It was pouring down.
I had to walk through all that corn.
Right.
I was being kind of lazy, but also it was about to get it.
Yeah.
Like really get it. And I'm like, gosh, dang it. All right. So 7:15 hits. I start packing up my stuff. Get my tether off. My bow's strapped across my back. Backpack on. I'm getting ready to take the first step down off my platform. And I thought, well, maybe I better look up. So I looked up into the field. Boom, there he is. I was like, what?
Out in this bean field, right?
Out in this bean field. So here I am. He's got another little 10-pointer with him, 2 or 3-year-old deer. I said, oh no. So I'm trying to get all this stuff back on the tree as slow, well, not really as slow, but as quietly as possible. And I put my tether around the whole tree. This tree is giant. The first time. Well, the second time, there's a big split at the top of it. I put it around just that split that went off to the left. And it kind of cantered me a little bit left. I was like, I'll deal with it. So him and this other deer, they're feeding out there, and I'm trying to assess between 2 horizontal limbs and then a couple other trees in front of me. There's 2 horizontal limbs in front of me that I've got a pretty decent 60-yard shot through, 50, 60-yard shot. So I thought, it's like, gosh, dang it, I don't know if I can make that. And I also have this limb coming off the big tree that I'm in that's kind of hindering me from, and tie all that stuff in to this limb that I have put my tether around. So I'm trying to practice a little. I know they can't see me, and I'm just trying to go through the situation. And I was like, I can't do it. So I hung my bow back up, and I undid my tether, and I slung it back. I slung it around the tree like I had it the first time, around the big part. So I was like, okay, I'm more comfortable now. And he's just sitting out there feeding, just him and that 10-point. Yeah. They're probably, 80 yards, 70, in between 70, 80 yards. So then I'm looking right in between these two horizontal limbs. They're 10, 15 yards in front of me. That 10 point gets out in between those two. So I ranged him. And it was 58 or 59 yards. I don't remember. I was like, okay. All right. Well, surely if that deer, if he goes there, I'm gonna have to make a decision.
Right.
So, roughly, it felt like 15 minutes, but it was probably 5. He makes his way in between those two horizontal limbs and was standing right there where that 10 point stood. So he's just standing there eating, minding his own business, and he just kind of standing there, and I'm looking, and I make sure my limb and my cam's not going to hit this limb coming out here. I pulled back, and I was like, gosh dang, I think I can make it through there. So I leaned back just a little bit, and I had it on him. I had that 60-yard pin on him. I was like, well, I have to try it.
Yeah.
I have to try it.
Right. Felt good.
And let's back up a lot here. I practice religiously at 60 yards.
Right.
That's where I start out at.
Right,
and
yeah.
that way it makes
I shoot at 60 a lot.
40, 30, 20 feel easy.
Yes.
But no, I'm very comfortable at shooting 60 yards. And I let it fly. And pop. Oh, that sounded good. Oh, I actually hit that deer. And he kind of, I think he just kind of jumped a little bit. And so he just started walking, and there's a tree about 8 inches around. 8 inches, 10. He got out into the middle of that field, and I lost him. I'm like, did he just lay? It was getting dark enough to where I'm kind of losing sight.
Right.
That
you almost don't believe what you're seeing.
Yeah, your eyes are kind of playing tricks on
yourself.
you.
Yep.
So I'm glassing through the binoculars. I'm like, is he down? Well, then I see this other deer at the very end of the field. I'm like, was that him? So then I'm second guessing myself. Well, oh man, maybe I didn't hit him very good because this deer's just standing there feeding. So I'm really focusing on this deer. Well, I don't think this deer even has any antlers, for one. And for two, it's not nearly as big bodied. So I talked myself out of that. So after that whole debacle, that argument with myself, I panned back to where I kind of lost him behind that tree, and that 10 point's standing there. I was like, oh, that deer's down right there.
Mm-hmm.
He's got to be. So I call my buddy. He's like, well, what are you going to do? It's like, I don't know. I'm about to get hammered with rain.
I was going to say, got a crazy rainstorm coming.
This rain is coming. Like, it's thundering, it's lightning.
Right.
It's right here.
I said, blood trailing. Pretty impossible.
He said, listen, why don't you go back to your house? I'll meet you there. We'll get a plan. It's like, all right, cool. As soon as I got down to the base of my tree, boom. I mean, it started pouring.
Oh.
Pouring. So
that would not feel good. Not knowing exactly where you hit the deer.
Yeah. So I've got that trek back through the corn, through the mud now. Back to the truck. I get home. We get my four-wheeler, get my trailer, and we go out to the place. And, I mean, it's not letting up. We're just, we've got to go look because I think he's right here in the middle of this field. Right. I really do. So we get there. Well, we almost didn't get there. There was a great big canyon. I say canyon. It's just a giant ditch out that came out to the edge of this cornfield. And I know Moore said something to my buddy behind me. I said, there's a giant ditch we're going to have to look out for in this field. And Luckily, I already had it in 4-wheel drive.
You're in a 4-wheeler or in your truck?
My 4-wheeler.
Okay.
And boom, there goes the 4-wheeler. It's like, oh, no. So we're sitting like this. The 4-wheeler's teetering. So he shifts his weight and hops off the back. I'm shifting my weight. I get it in reverse. It's a Honda, so you have to the whole reverse down.
Push the button, pull the brake lever down.
and he pulls it out, and man, we're lucky. So I was like, well, they're just gonna have to lose a row of corn. So we ended up going and parking, and so we get out in the field, and like, well, let's just go out to the middle, I guess, where I lost him. And we finally found where there was a great big circle, and you could tell that there was some blood there. There was like 3 big beds right there.
And it's currently raining, right?
Yes, it is drenching us.
Huh.
Monsoon.
But you could still tell there was blood.
There was just barely blood. You couldn't tell what it was, as far as color,
right.
Smell, nothing. Of course, I can't smell anyhow, but no arrow, nothing to go on. So I look at him, and he's like, he knew what was going through my mind. He's like, let's just walk around the field just in case. Okay, all right. So he goes in front of me while I'm looking on the edge, and I get to where I saw that other deer at the end of the field. So I kind of studied that a little bit, and it was raining so hard that it had already covered up the tracks of that deer. Right. So I couldn't even tell if it was a buck or doe, nothing. Right. No blood, obviously. Oh man, I'm getting pretty sick. And he's already walked about 20, 30 yards in front of me. So I turn around, and I'm starting to walk there behind him, just looking for anything. And he turns around, shines his light in my face. He goes, "Hey, Kiley Harpster, there's a giant deer dead over here. You might want to come look at it." I was like, "Oh, yeah." So we
found it with spotlight. I mean,
he was going right back to where I saw him come out of that ditch the first time that evening. He was going back to bed.
Back to a safe spot.
Yep. And man, it was a heck of a night.
You were soaked.
We were soaked. and Buddy looks at me and goes, "You know what's going to happen, right? It's going to stop raining whenever we get to the truck." Guess what happened?
Stopped raining.
It stopped raining whenever we got to the truck.
Well, he's definitely an awesome deer. Mainframe 8-pointer. He's got a kicker coming off a G2 and a kicker coming off his brow tine.
The last 2 years, this deer, I'd never really paid attention to him. I do have history with him. I never really paid too much attention to him, other than he just kind of had a unique rack.
Right.
But the last 2 years, in velvet, he had broken off a tine.
That's right.
2 years ago, it was a brow tine, and last year he had broken this one.
And that kind of, how old do you think he is or was when you shot him?
I think he was 6. He could have been 5. He was no.
But last year, since he broke that G2 or G3, you're just like, he's not on the hit
list
at all.
Right,
like, just,
right.
Nope.
Yeah, and he wasn't near this caliber last year either. Like
seems like they hit that 5-year mark and really throw on some track, just some character, like this little extra point here and this little extra stuff here and some mass.
He was always, you could always tell he kind of had that mass, like he wanted to throw it.
Right.
On,
but he's a stud of an 8-point. What was the score unofficially there when you killed him?
I believe it was 147 and some change. I don't remember if it was
just a stud 8-pointer, and he's how
3/8
wide?
or whatever.
13.
It was 13 and a half.
Yeah, so 147 inch pointer, 147 inch 8-pointer, but he's 13 and a half inches wide. That's impressive.
And from the time I shot, from the time I boiled him out to now, his tips were about an inch apart, and now
you can barely get your finger in there.
Now they're about a half inch.
Kind of shrinking together.
Yeah.
And when I come and looked at him, I noticed.
Yeah, that's right. You came over that night.
His antlers like wiggle. I just kind of grabbed both sides and it felt loose. I'm like, the skull broke? Like I didn't want to. It was just kind of.
You're not trying to insinuate a Mitch Rampolla thing.
No.
Okay.
You stretch his antlers out. No, man, he's a stud of a buck. Pretty cool. We killed him. Like we just talked about it
Yeah.
on the first episode
Yep.
about early season bow hunting, and you got it done. And
Yeah,
that's the third year in a row, right? Third year in a row. Killed your big one last year, and I think you mentioned you killed another one early
Mm-hmm.
the year before.
See, that was 23, so yeah.
23, 24, and 25, all in September.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It's hard to do.
And the year before that was October 4th,
which is pretty early
Yeah.
too. So, like a lot of people aren't even hunting in September.
Man, I love early season. I love it. Give me early and late.
Right.
I don't want
most
I
people do not.
I don't want to mess with that rut.
Like we were talking to my dad earlier.
Yeah.
It is currently October 22nd. And his first sit was today. Had a really good sit.
Yeah, he had a good hunt.
Yeah. I think said he's seen 10 does and 7 bucks, which is great for us.
Speaking of hunting, how's your hunting going?
It's going good.
We've been talking about me the whole time.
Yeah. So last night was super exciting. Best night I've had so far this season. I've been to Colorado, got back and was just busy, and it's been hot here.
You had a heck of a time out in Colorado.
Yeah,
though.
I had a great trip in Colorado.
I was just holding that tire shed earlier though.
Yeah, everybody keeps commenting like, "Well, at least you got a shed." Like, well, free shed. I'm like, that's the farthest from free shed I've ever picked up. Like,
Yeah, that's not. How
they've
you
all
wanna
been
find
free.
a
That
shed.
one was not free.
Yeah.
That one cost me some money. Either way, cool story. I usually throw my
absolutely.
sheds in a pile. That one's going to go somewhere special.
Yeah, you better hang that one up there
hang it on
somewhere.
the wall or something. But yeah, so I got back from Colorado and was anxious to get out and get hunting. Mid-October, the scrapes were kind of picking up, and it was hot. It's been miserably hot, and I don't know. I wasn't getting the intel I wanted on camera. Like I get a buck here or there, middle of the night, and just not enough for me to really have a strong game plan. Kind of like with this deer, like you saw him go to bed. Like that's a strong game plan. That's the motivation you need to get out there sometimes.
Well, yeah, I got to be there.
Yeah, and I wasn't getting that at all. So I hunted a couple times and not really any luck. Last night, let's see, I hunted 20th, had a good sit. It was real windy, like 25 mile an hour gust.
Yeah, that wind was really blowing.
Monday night,
yesterday.
it was still pretty warm, but had a good sit. I climbed up in a tree. An area I hadn't hunted before, but I've got pictures of 2 bucks in there that I want to shoot. Snuck in there in this high wind, and I was using my saddle, hung my sticks, got 3 sticks high. I'd been in the tree for 30 minutes, and I'll be honest, I was playing on my phone. I looked around every once in a while, not that big of a deal.
It's easy to do in those knoll periods.
Windy, and then especially early, it's 4 o'clock. Like I'm not too excited yet. And all of a sudden I look out in this kind of CRP right here in front of me. And this grass, like I said, 25 mile an hour winds, this grass is just blowing like crazy. And I see 2 tines just steady as a rock out in this field. I'm like, holy shit, that's a deer right in front of me, like right here.
How far away?
43 yards. I ranged it at 43 yards. And I'd been in the tree for 30 minutes. I don't know if the sun changed and was shining on him just right, but I mean, it stuck out like a sore thumb when I looked at it again. And it was a 2.5-year-old 6-pointer. Like he had 8-inch G2s kind of deal, and I could just see them. I ended up having a couple does come through, and then another 2 or 3-year-old 7-pointer. Nothing impressive. But still exciting sit.
Whenever you see deer with a bow in your hand,
yeah, and could have shot them. Like both bucks, I could have arrowed. Like, and that was kind of that was a success. Like snuck in a new spot, got in tight, had 2 bucks walk in front of me in daylight that I could have shot. Like that felt good. Especially with using the saddle and hanging sticks. Like I've done it enough, but I'm no pro. Like I don't do it every sit. I've got some stands other places and stuff, so it's good practice.
Yeah, it makes a person feel pretty good whenever you can get in there tight to them and really not even know it.
Yeah, that's right. Like, I mean, I was 43 yards and got up in the tree. He didn't know it, and I didn't know it. So, but then the next night things got interesting. So we had a front coming in Tuesday night. Today's the 22nd. It was supposed to be 37 degrees this morning. I think it was about 40. But last night, this front kind of started to come in. The wind was blowing like crazy, and I finally had the wind I needed to go hunt one of these other deer that I'd really like to kill. Got a little bit of history with him. He's a stud. I really think he's 4, but he's a stud, and I'm not going to pass him. To be honest, I was going to shoot him last year as a 3-year-old. I don't think I thought he was a 3-year-old last year until I've got to look at pictures a little closer this year, and I've decided that I think he was 3 last year and he's 4 this year. But either way, he's north of 150. Nice deer. Anyway, I got the wind I needed to go hunt that. I'm hunting kind of in a little bowl. So hills all kind of lead into one little spot in here. And I go walking in last night, and I've run into deer in here before. It's like I can't get there early enough. Like they're always in there moving. Like they bed pretty close. Mm-hmm. There's always some does. So I take my time getting in there. And I was taking my time, and I glassed every once in a while. I didn't see anything. I'm like, all right, I made it safe in here. I can see my tree. I'm literally 15 yards from my tree. And I kind of quit looking.
I think I know where this is going.
Yeah, I kind of quit looking. And all of a sudden, I'm also walking in a creek. The creek's only probably 4 or 5 foot deep. So it covers my sound sight pretty good, but still my head's sticking up. And sure enough, I see a whitetail and another tail, another tail, another tail. I'm like, oh my gosh. And I'm like, well, I'm sure it's just does, whatever. They didn't blow. I think they just saw me. The wind was right, so they didn't wind me. They just saw me bebopping through there like an idiot. And I'm like, well, I better throw my binos up just in case. And I did, and I saw antler. Wasn't a little buck. I don't know what he was. For a split second. Don't know what it was.
I know that feeling all too well.
Yeah, and I wanted to say, well, it's not him. It couldn't have been him. I didn't get that, wow, that's a big deer.
Mm-hmm.
But it could have been. Who knows? Anyway, I climb up in the tree frustrated. The wind's doing exactly opposite of what it was forecasted to do. I'm like, up on the hill, it's doing what it's forecasted to do. But where I'm at, it's swirling just right. It's opposite. Like it's doing the opposite. Which
I swear the government pays these weathermen.
Yeah. Which luckily for me, it was going to be a crosswind, so it was just crossed the opposite way, and it worked out. So I stayed. I almost just got out and left, but I was like, well, I think they're going to be over here, and they won't be downwind of me, so we'll be safe. Anyway, I saw quite a few deer, mostly does, all does, I think, maybe one little buck. And right at dark, things calmed down a little bit. Still pretty windy, but I don't know. It wasn't 25 mile an hour anymore. And I heard a pretty good grunt, just like longer. I'm like, did I just hear a grunt? Like, I'm like, am I crazy or did I actually hear that with the wind blowing and stuff?
Right. And could it be the neighbor?
Yeah. And then I thought I heard it again. I'm like, man, did I just hear that right? And it sounded like it was coming from the other side of the tree. Like I'm hunting my saddle facing the tree, and it sounded like the other side, So I get around the side of the tree, and I hear some woodpecker or something back this way, and I'm like, is that what I was hearing? Like that's the opposite direction of what I thought I heard. I'm like, I must have been crazy. Anyway, I grabbed my grunt call and just gave a couple, just because, And I didn't hear nothing. I'm like, well, I must be crazy. I don't know. Got excited. Whatever. Anyway, I'm going to sit it out. And it's getting pretty close to dark. Like I said, I'm in this kind of hole in the timber, so it's darker in there than it is out in the field. It gets darker a little quicker in there. But I hear walking in the leaves pretty close to me. Wind's blowing. And if you can hear walking, it's pretty tight. And I can't see real far in here. Can't shoot real far. Can't see real far. And here comes a doe up this trail. Right behind her's a fawn. Okay, well, something. He could be right. Maybe that was a buck I heard. Maybe pushing this doe or something. And sure enough, I hear, and I'm hearing him walk, and it's louder footsteps than this doe and fawn. Like he wasn't being quiet. He didn't care. He's just kind of tromping along, following this doe. And I picked my binos up, and just then he come into a little opening, just perfect through the brush where I could see, and he kind of started licking a branch or something, and it was this buck I'm after. And my blood starts pumping, and I start shaking instantly. Oh, yeah. And then I'm thinking I should already have my bow in my hand, but whatever. Grab my bow. It's on the right side of the tree, so I do the old underneath your tether,
Mm-hmm.
get the tether up on my shoulder, my back up against the tree. And I'm just like, come on in here. Like, these does need to walk another 10 yards, and he's going to follow him, and he's going to be at 20 yards, and it's game over. I'm like, it's getting dark. Legal shooting light still by far, but just down in this hole in the timber.
Just low
pretty
light.
dark. Yeah, low light. And like, I'm looking at my pins. They're glowing a little bit. I'm like, at 20 yards, I can make it happen. You know, I feel like I could shoot pretty dark at 20 yards. If it was further shot, I wouldn't push it. And there's a sapling right in front of me that's still holding all of its leaves, and this doe and the spawn stopped behind that sapling. I don't know if my wind swirled or what happened. They just held up, just stopped, and I couldn't even see them. Like, but I knew they were right there. I could hear them walking, and they stopped and they quit walking. And I waited, and I couldn't see him either. He got behind a limb or something, and finally, I heard him walk a little more, and I heard these does start walking again. And they didn't walk into this opening right here that I needed them to. And I didn't see where they went. But finally, I see this buck coming. At this point, he's probably 30 yards. I mean, I'm just catching glimpses of him through this brush. And I was ready. He steps into this opening, or I see he's about to step into an opening. And I drew my bow, and I mean, his rack got into that opening, and he turned left and started walking straight away from me. Following them does, I'm sure, pushing them does. You know, I kind of heard the does kind of take a couple running steps or whatever, and I just thought, oh man, like that was probably it. I don't know, but I'm running out of time here, and they're not coming this way. It doesn't seem to be. So I stayed patient, and I could, even though it was windy, I could hear them walking them leaves pretty good, and it sounded like they got over there about 50 yards and kind of slowed up. And I've got some terrain behind me. So I grabbed my grunt call, just faced it behind me, just gave a couple little soft grunts, thinking he might get curious and come 25 yards closer, and that'd be all it takes, you know. Well, it didn't work. Nothing happened. And I heard him walk around a little bit, but I felt like I never heard him actually leave. And so I waited and
That's
waited.
a tough decision to make right there.
I didn't want to just climb down and get out of there, because I didn't want to spook him. I mean, he's right here.
Yep.
I knew the next morning was going to be fire. It was cold this morning. Like I said, my dad had a good hunt this morning.
Right, yeah.
I was contemplating, like, well, if he's in here and I get out clean, should I take off work or what? And so I waited. It was pitch black when I got out. I probably waited 30 minutes longer than I would have.
Yeah.
And I just felt like I hadn't heard anything for a while. And I was real cautious getting down. I got down real quiet. Packed my stuff up, and like my first few steps, I'd step and just stop and try to hear if I was pushing anything. And I didn't hear anything. I got out clean, I'm pretty sure. So I felt good about that. I even took a different route out.
Really?
Than getting in, just because the route I go in this ditch would have went kind of that direction to where I'd seen him a little bit. So felt like I got out clean.
I'd say if you didn't hear any scamper, and
I think I was clean. And another thing, I've got a trail camera right in there on a scrape. He didn't walk in front of it, you know. He'd have been dead if he did. But just kind of goes to show you, like, just because he's not on that camera don't mean he's not there.
Absolutely.
Like, I damn near killed him, and he wasn't on that camera.
Yep.
I don't have a lot of pictures of him, but I know he's in. I'm confident that he's in there.
You know what the answer to that is?
More cameras.
More cameras.
Yeah, I know. I need to throw some more in there tight, like all over it, really. But I just haven't. I kind of. I don't even want to go in there to hang the cameras, kind of deal.
No,
like
I get it.
In hindsight,
you feel like you do more harm than good at this point.
Hindsight, after thinking about jumping them deer walking in, I remembered last year I had a hunt in there, I think early November, a morning hunt. It was real windy that day, and I had some bucks come in there and bed down. I think there's something about that area when it's windy.
Mm-hmm.
They like that spot maybe when it's real windy. I don't know. Like,
could be a thermal thing.
Yeah, could be. So tonight I went back in there. I actually hung in a different tree tonight, just 100 yards different. I didn't want to get quite as tight, just in case. Mm-hmm. Got to not the tree I wanted and spotted a doe at like 70 yards, and then a few minutes later, 3 more deer stood up at like 50 yards. Like I was in too tight again. They were in a little bit different spot.
Unintentionally.
Yeah. I didn't see him. I finally got up in a tree, had some does come in behind me. Thermals were not working for my favor tonight. Seemed like I had these deer coming behind me that I thought was safe for my thermals, and they were picking them up, and not like they were smell me and just blow. They just stop what they're doing and just look around.
Just kind of figured something was
they just
maybe out of the ordinary.
And again, that wind's just swirling real bad down in there. I'm having a rough time with that. I don't recall having that before, but either way, it's been exciting. I was happy to lay eyes on him.
Talking about that swirling, I think a person can get away with that a little bit more during the rut.
For sure. Yeah, I would agree. And I had a little buck by me tonight. He didn't give a shit. He didn't care. But them does, I don't know. Like the fawns don't care. They don't know what they're doing, but it's just them mature does picking up on it. It reminded me of Colorado. Like you can fool a big buck's eyes pretty easy out there, but them does will pick you up in a heartbeat. It's crazy.
Oh yeah. Well, and it's like we were talking. I think you can fool the buck during the rut. It's still pretty tough to fool the doe, but I think like during full on rut, like in the middle,
buck don't care.
I think she'll bring him by intentionally.
Oh really?
Yeah.
I never thought about that.
Like I think some of those old bitches know,
right?
And they want him off her butt. I do think that.
He come in. He's obviously pushing this doe there last night and grunting a little bit, and just he was getting excited. It's that time of the year. This cold front was coming, and that doe, I think, smelled me just a little bit and caused her to slow up. It didn't really affect him, you know. Like
right.
He saw right through that. I was like, I don't care. I got a doe right in front of me. But that was cool to see. That was kind of the first rut activity I've seen. Heard a buck grunting, and it happened to be the one I'm after. So,
have you heard anybody talk about the October lull this year?
No,
I haven't either.
No.
Normally that's getting.
I've heard some people say it like that. The October lull.
Yeah. Well, yeah. The deer just are doing different things in different areas.
Yeah, sure. They're not chasing does right in front of you.
In my opinion, but this year it seems like that really hasn't existed.
Yes.
I mean, as far as all my friends talking, what my cameras are showing, people that have actually been out hunting. I mean, I think it's been pretty steady as far as movement.
I think so too. Like I've got. On camera, I've got 4 deer that I'd shoot this year. And I can tell you that every one of them's daylighted at least once in October. Wasn't there, of course. But I mean, literally, I think all of them one time exactly. But here this last week, they've been flirting with daylight, they'll come in, hit a scrape, enter this field 30 minutes after dark or whatever. Like, it's close.
Yeah.
They're still moving. They're still doing their thing. It's just...
I have an old, I think he's 6 or 7. I think he's actually 7 this year, but I've just put him off for so long. But he's really been doing a lot of things these past few weeks. I'm like, gosh dang, and he's nothing special. He might do 130.
Right. Still an old deer.
He might be 135, but yeah, and I have some history with him, couple sheds from a few years back, but he's getting pretty stupid.
Right.
So normally, I think that means that they're just getting up there in age whenever they start letting their guard down a little bit that. So
I've been anticipating some deer to show up. Your crops are coming out right now.
Oh yeah,
so things are going to shift. Things are going to change.
Yep.
I've got some cameras on some edges of bean fields. And not a lot of timber, a lot of beans in these areas. But there's been some bucks living in them. I'm just curious to see what happens now. I don't know if it'll be better or worse or whatever, but it's going to change things for sure. But I'm hoping some deer will shift around because, like, on a couple farms, like I've got some deer from last year that I was really looking forward to seeing. couple that I know are alive from neighbors talked about
Mm-hmm.
them or whatever. Nothing giant, but just, hey, remember that deer? Yeah, I got a picture of them. I haven't had pictures of some of them
Yeah.
yet, and so I'm waiting for them to start come in and check a scrape that they hit last year.
Yep.
You know, but just I always get to looking back at my pictures from last year. I was doing it today, and just go back to October 22nd last year. What was I getting on camera? And well, I've got some good deer on camera this year that have been on some scrapes. I am missing some deer that I'm just like, where's he at? Like I don't know where they're at.
The deer that I hunted all winter last year and had pictures of clear, even from velvet to, well, the rest of the hunting season last year. I didn't have any pictures of him up until this morning at like 3:30. He finally showed up. Like you were talking about, maybe the crop's coming out.
Right.
Maybe something was holding him somewhere, and then
right.
I mean,
like I think a bean and corn rotation can really change things for a deer.
oh yeah,
Like they like to bed in corn. There's no arguing that.
Yeah.
Like they will
Yeah.
just bed inside the corn. So that changes. That could completely change their pattern. Now, if you got an area that someone plants beans every year on the same field, like maybe they can be a little more patternable there. But that's cool. He showed up though.
man, yeah, hey, he
But that's crazy. From velvet through late season, you had him
yeah.
last year.
Last year I had him all year,
Right.
but this year I thought probably he was dead or
Right.
got hit by a car.
That gives me hope.
Whatever. Yeah.
It gives me hope. Like
Well, it should give everybody hope.
Yeah.
Honestly.
it could literally happen anytime. Like should always be in the back of your mind, like one could roll in here.
Right.
I think that keeps a lot of people in the stand too, though. Like
That's true.
may not have a picture of a big one, but it's just that time of year
Yeah.
where things shift and they're expanding their range, and they're. I've got another one that I think is going to be a slammer if he shows up. No pictures of him yet, but I'm hopeful.
You had the pictures of him last year though, right?
Yes, had pictures of him last year, and I just hope he comes back. And I didn't have pictures of him until getting to be about this time of year, like right before November, I think.
Yep.
That's when he showed up last year.
You're getting pretty antsy to see him.
Oh yeah, I'm just my
He'll show up.
my
He'll
whole
show
game might change if he shows back up.
Yeah.
But I gotta wait for it. If I was smart, I'd probably just be hunting there and expecting him to be there. But I like that first picture, and then I get excited. But yeah, I don't know. It's getting exciting. The rut's coming up.
Yeah, I mean it's heating up.
Yeah.
I'm seeing it on my camera. I'm seeing it on the roads. I'm seeing a lot more deer hit.
Yep, that's
I
true.
just about hit one last night myself.
Yep, these colder temperatures help things so much. Makes it more enjoyable to get out there for one. You don't sweat your ass off.
Yeah, I mean there's no question about that.
Deer moving a little more, and it's feeling right. Leaves are finally turning. I feel like this year the leaves are turning late, but I don't know if it's just been. I know this tree in my front yard usually is bright red by now, and it's still
Really?
green. Maple tree's kind of weird, but yeah, I mean the rut's coming up. I'm looking forward to the rut. I like hunting the rut. I just like the movement, man. Just in the unknown.
The action's awesome. I guess it's the unknown that I don't particularly care for.
Right. You like knowing, hey, this deer's probably bedded right here, and I'm gonna go in.
Yeah,
and shoot
because
him.
I'm most generally I'm a single deer guy. Like I'm setting my sights on that deer and that deer only.
Yep.
I don't want to be in that rut action. I want to go to his bed. I want to kill him, and then go do my thing. Which my thing this year was my dad calling me, hey, you coming to the field? You gonna help or what?
Ready to get cropped out?
And that's another thing is it was that day that I actually killed him. Dad called me, and that's exactly what he said. He said, "Are you gonna help me or not?" He didn't say it like that. He goes, "We're on your place. You gonna help?" I was like, "Hey, listen, I'm on this deer. Just give me a few days, okay?"
Right.
He's like, "Ah." So he was happy. He was happy whenever I got that tag.
Yeah. So now free labor.
Yeah.
But yeah, the rut's coming up. It's gonna be good. My buddy from Colorado is actually coming in, Max.
Oh yeah.
He's coming here to hunt for 6-7 days or so.
Cool. Yeah.
He come last year, and him and his dad and his brother, and I don't know how we didn't kill a deer. We all four hunted a lot. We also saw stuff.
Maybe you just spent too
Couple
much
arrows
time
were-
at deer camp.
No, this was deer camp. We were right here, man. We spent a lot of time in the woods.
Yeah.
We had some bad weather a couple days that kind of slowed things down.
Yeah.
But them guys, they're Western hunters. You know, they hunt elk and mule deer, and they get to do that. They don't get to sit in a tree, and they love it. It's weird. We go west, and we're like, oh, this is amazing. Yeah. But they love being here, sitting in a tree, seeing all the deer.
It's different.
Yeah.
It's different for them. Just like it's different for us.
I think me and Max will get a deer down, maybe 2. So
cool. Yeah, that's
it's going to be good. I've been running a lot of cameras partially for him. Like,
yeah,
I've got my, I guess, 4 that I would shoot, but that list is a little wider for Max being out of state and coming here. Just wanting to shoot a nice, decent buck. So.
I do the same thing with my New York buddies, you know, and I even added them to a lot of my cameras.
Yep, I added my buddy too.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it'll be fun. We'll have a blast. I'm gonna take some days off of work and we'll do some all day sits, I'm sure. And I like sitting all day during the rut. It can happen anytime.
Oh yeah.
And I don't hate it, but when things happen right at dark, you know, I just like, man, I wish there was I want to see this. Like that buck the other night, like I never got a great look at him because it's dark. It's getting close to dark. Mm-hmm. Like during the rut, like you're going to see a nice buck in broad daylight. It's just everything's so visual. It just works to your advantage to have all that daylight. I enjoy seeing deer in the broad daylight. I don't like just, I'm here to sit for 3 hours, but it's all going to happen in the last 20 minutes. You know?
Well, you have to get in there to beat, whether it be the wind, the deer movement, to get to your stand.
Right.
So, yeah.
It just seems like if I could just teleport, I'd just be here for the last 45 minutes.
Oh, that's my number one superpower that I wish I had was teleportation.
Yeah. You could kill a lot of deer if you could just
put me in that stand.
Snap your fingers
put
and
me
be
in that stand right now.
Tree.
I could use it for literally anything else, but no, I want to use it for deer hunting.
Yep. But yeah, man, awesome deer. Appreciate you coming to tell the story.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It's cool that we talked about it and kind of like talked it into real life, into reality.
That was pretty crazy. It all worked out. He was
nice buck, big 8-pointer.
Very unique
character.
I'm tickled with him.
Yeah, like anymore, like when I was younger, like inches is what mattered. I want to shoot a 140, you know, and then I want to shoot a 150. But now I'm like, I want to shoot a mature deer, and if it's unique, great. Like, I'll shoot it.
That's a plus.
Right, yeah. Like, sure, if he's giant, that's a plus too. But there's something about just uniqueness and just a deer that's got a cool look. And if you know they're mature, they got a big body and got some mass, it's like, yep, he might score. I've got one on my hit list that I don't think will make 140. He's a cool 10-point. He's got some long beams. He's heavy. He's got a huge body. I don't know how old he is, but I'm like, I'll shoot him.
I mean, it probably, with all that rain that night, that freaking tsunami that came through, I'll bet it took us, I bet that whole excursion was 3 hours. That dude was so heavy. Oh, my goodness. Ugh. But
it was all worth it.
I wouldn't change a thing.
Yeah, for sure, man.
I wouldn't change a thing. That I'll look back on that night the rest of my life. It was awesome.
Right.
That's what awesome, man. I mean that's what it's all about is the memories.
Absolutely. Yeah.
The memories, and I mean obviously I got to eat.
Yeah. That's right. But yeah, so the rut's coming up. Like I said, Max will be here, and we're gonna do a lot of hunting. And there will be some podcasts coming out of that, some videos and stuff. You may have to come down and eat some fried fish or something one night.
Absolutely. You know, I don't mind eating fish. I like fish.
I like fried fish. But anyway, thanks everybody for listening to this podcast. Like I said, glad to have Kiley back on. Really cool to hear a story about this cool buck, and I wish one like that would walk by me.
I appreciate you having me.
Yep. It's been good to see you, buddy. Thanks everybody for listening. We'll see you next time.
Bye.